Monday, June the 10th, 2013, and I'm back down in West Sussex. Second time in a couple of weeks actually. Like the area so much. Back down at Pulborough, about to undertake Free Walk 14, which is a Pulborough circular, around 13 miles through the water meadows this time though. So it's been dry for the last couple of days, so I thought I'd take a gamble, as it's usually damp underfoot through the water meadows and the Amberley Wild Brooks. It's a grey old day, but at least it's not raining. It's in the mid-teens at the moment with a sort of easterly, southeasterly breeze, which is very pleasant. So as I say, it's 13 miles, should be done in about, what, 5:30 at the latest. Going to be some familiar terrain on this video, I'm sure, from the previous walk. Certainly I know Stopham Bridge is involved. But let's press on. It's 11:25 now. So like I say, aiming to be back here around 5:30 I should think. Information panel here in the station. Ticket office, which wasn't open last time I came here, I believe. Well, I haven't got too many feet into my walk, and there's the first victim of today's walk. Looks like a little shrew or something of that nature, dead, just on the station footpath, which is well overgrown. Pulborough signal box. Pulborough Church again. Lovely goldfinch there. Wonderful colouring. It's quite amazing. This is the first time I've done a walk in an area so soon after previously being here, and just in these 3 weeks the vegetation's come on and moved on degrees. Looking back down at Pulborough station. With the downs in the distance there. From the bridge at Church Place. Already I've noticed we're doing the other Pulborough walk in reverse at this stage. Walking up towards that pillbox, which is probably out of focus at the minute because of the bush in the way, but there you go. Approaching the old pillbox and the wood alongside it, where we then get onto the footpath that we follow all the way to Amberley. As I mentioned last time, great views from the pillbox. And the other side. Plus that information panel again. Mound on my right, the former Motte and Bailey I think it was. And we're now on the wey-south path. The wey-south path runs from Guildford to Horton Bridge, or Houghton Bridge, 58 km long, follows the River Wey and Arun. Wonderful. Lovely bit of woodland walking here. Nice dry sandy path today, so there shouldn't be any problem with the brooks or water meadows. Yeah, let's get a shot of these wonderful views. It's interesting doing this walk in reverse. Although I did take many of these shots in reverse last time, I'm actually, obviously walking against the grain this time, so easy to get them or not miss them. Final shot at Pulborough before we move on into woodland. And a Southern Region train there. It's a very lovely section of walking that, just as we come up to the busy A283 and the pub. You see, here's a sign that I missed last time. A little commemorative plaque telling us that the Right Honourable Lord Young of Greatham opened up this new bridge at Stopham in June '86. So there you go. I did miss that last time. And clearly on a weekday you get a less crowded garden. And a better shot of the pub itself, which is very pleasant. And a much better shot of the bridge at Stopham. The main centre arch there was raised, so I read, in the Victorian times to allow taller vessels to get up to London, I presume, because this is a main navigation up to London from the south. What a wonderful sight that is, eh? Still no swallows though, darting around, which is worrying. We're passing down here on a Monday. Seems quite expensive to me, but then again I'm not a beer drinker. So there we have it, Stopham Bridge. Parting shot of the pub, which does have a few guests at it at the moment, which is surprising. Lovely spread of water lilies down there. Got a shot of the menu here. We've got a garden centre just on the other side of a busy road there, and I believe our onward journeys here with this footpath marker and one of those lovely aluminium kissing gates, the ones that work. Yeah, I agree with that. Stop the spread of invasive species. Totally. That's what old Charlie Dimmock was promoting as well, I believe, not so long ago. Still following the wey-south path, whose little markers are easy to miss, as you can see here. The garden centre over the road. Approaching the footbridge over the Arun. So there you go. Wonder if that was written by an Irishman. I'm stood on the footbridge looking over the Arun. Just talking to an old gentleman there about the floods that were occurring here only a few weeks ago, really. It's amazing. Look at that. You can tell from the banks over there the flooding that took place. Mother Nature always looks after itself, eh? Despite man's meddling. On the other side, you have the old footbridge, which looks rather military-esque. Interesting, all the cattle are sat down. Now, if old folk tales are to be believed, that doesn't bode well for later today. Anyway, they're not always right, fingers crossed. And I can feel the sun poking through, actually. This is the potentially muddy field headed southeast described in the text. So, as it's not at all muddy and fairly dry, that bodes well for the brooks. Here we're crossing the Rother and its pumping station. Prior to crossing the railway line, yeah, plenty of water lying around here. Crossing the bridge back over the railway line. Approaching the busy A29. What an amazing roof that barn has. Just walking past Priory Cottage. Not very secure. Downs on the right. And a dodgy step on this stile as we go down into the strip of woodland. Down there on my left, just through the vegetation, you can see the remnants of an abandoned stretch of canal. Interesting. Nice yellow flower over there. Some kind of bulrush, I suppose. I guess we're walking along what used to be the old towpath. So if I can get it in focus. Incidentally, the old zoom seems to be working alright today. But there's a better shot of that flower head. Another wonderfully wild section of walking this. Fantastic. It's a lot quieter birdsong wise now though as we approach midsummer. Not even the chiff-chaff is as abundant at the moment. And just as I said that, bang on cue, the old chiff-chaff appears. Yeah, another fantastic spread of cow parsley. Wonderful walking down here in West Sussex. Mass of buttercups out over there on my right. So there you have it. Just reached Greatham Bridge, the other ancient bridge on this walk. Bloody hell, there's a swan. Don't know if you can see that. Anyway, here she blows. Presently accompanied by a blackbird and a blue tit. Lovely spread of buttercups out there. Okay, there's Greatham Bridge. No notes to go with this one, so I can't tell you anything about it. It's one for Google, no doubt. It's crossing over the River Arun. Wonderful setting it is as well. Wonderful views of the downs behind me. As that blackbird continues to sing delightfully. A couple of swans down there as I'm stood on the bridge now. Onward journeys on that bank where that twitcher is. Fantastic. Might not be any sun, but hey ho. Sounds like a reed bunting down there. In fact it is, I got him. Where is he? Gone. Just as I got him in focus. And looking northwards. Interestingly, I've just been speaking to a volunteer at Pulborough Brooks RSPB reserve, and he tells me that bird I just saw was in fact a sedge warbler. I didn't think it was a reed bunting or warbler because it didn't have the black colouring, so there's my answer. And apparently also down on this stretch is a grasshopper warbler, which sounds like a grasshopper apparently, so I'll keep my ears peeled. And this is another shot of the bridge from the other bank. Isn't that fantastic? That volunteer also told me that if I'm lucky, they've got some pairs of bullfinches, believe it or not, in Pulborough Brooks. And also his actual project is counting deer, because apparently the deer are now causing massive problems around here. There's a reed bunting, or was. So I guess the other song I'm hearing in there could well be a grasshopper warbler. Open to correction, please. Does that sound grasshopper-esque? Or just common reed bunting? Scenery approaching Quell farmhouse. That chap also told me that there are red kite down here, which I wasn't aware of because I've never seen any on my travels in the Downs. Didn't think they were down this far, but clearly they are. Probably been introduced by the RSPB. One or two swallows around this area as well, but to be honest, they're nothing like as abundant as they ought to be. There's a wonderful little barn, or stables. Just seen some swallows go in and out of there. Fantastic to see that. As I often mention, it's not happening enough at the moment with so many barn conversions going on. There you go, one's just zoomed in. So there's 3 or 4 different pairs I've seen go in there. Pleasant pastoral scene here. for the first time today. Just starting to hear the jet noise from Gatwick. Another rabbit keeping a low profile in the sedge down there. Big old thing. Unlike the baby we saw last time I was down here. Sorry, that was on the Amesford walk, wasn't it? Okay, let's do a 180. Lovely vista here, past Hale's barn, referred to in the text. It's all gone a bit grey and quiet at the moment. Doesn't take away the outstanding views though. Do a right here through this metal field gate, which is open, and I notice now we're getting RSPB badges on the posts indicating that we're probably on their land now. That is my maximum range, so I can't quite make out what that is. Possibly a reed bunting. And believe it or not, I can hear a cuckoo. Somewhere over there. Well, well, well. Twice in a month. But then again, you would expect that on an RSPB reserve. Lighting's against me. But that must be some kind of warbler. Grasshopper. Yeah, that sounds like a grasshopper, doesn't it? Fantastic environment this is. Thank God for these footbridges, eh? Yeah, some truly outstanding views down here. God for RSPB volunteers, eh? You'd have a problem without these boardwalks. There's some of the dark, I think he said they were fallow, that chap's recording. Yeah, there's the ordinary one, Bambi. Apparently they escaped from Parham Park, or Parham Park, I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is near here, in the storm of '89. And yeah, that's why they're over here now, in numbers. Do need to be culled though, despite their cute appearance, causing a lot of trouble. There they go. Almost as safari-like as we get in England. Thank Thank God there's no elephants, tigers or whatever else on the loose here. Wouldn't be able to do these walks, would we? Got one hiding in the grass over there. He thinks I haven't seen him, but I have. Camouflaged, eh? Again, that's one of the dark backed ones. The individual must be part of this troop or herd, because they were waiting for him. Information panel here about the Amberley Wild Brooks. I'm following the muddier section used by farm vehicles, and as you can see, not too bad today at all. The odd few puddles that are around can easily be avoided. On the fringes of Amberley. Last view back over the Amberley Wild Brooks. As with last week and its pub, very entrepreneurial here. The village stalls have put their location on this kissing gate. I do recall now where we are. Hog Lane, Amberley. Top dollar down here. Here is the now defunct Black Horse. Obviously wasn't last time I walked down here. I noticed that lots of the village houses have got support campaign notices in them. There you go, they're redirecting you. The bridge in. There's one of the campaign notices. There's something I didn't catch last time I was here. This bus shelter was built to commemorate the Festival of Britain, 1951. There's the village tea room over there, but I'm going up to the church for mine. So there you have it. Big campaign going on to save the boozer. So let's press on up this delightful church street. St Michael's, Amberley. And there you have it, at the back of the church, the prayer of St Richard, Bishop of Chichester and Lord of Amberley Manor, 1244, 1253. St Richard's Gate, I think that says. As I say, just at the rear of the church. 12th century. Good idea. Storm porch there. Not needed today though. As it's 2, I'll take this pew and lunch will be served. This one being in memory of Peter Bassett, 22 to 2000. So the chair's got well worn in 13 years. Interesting contrast up on the church tower. Black jackdaws and white pigeons. Black and white. Okay, 2:45, lunch has been had, and while having it, this plaque stands out from amongst the crowd because it's on this wall. That's why. There's the church from another angle. One of the many pleasant thatched cottages in Amberley. Looking down Church Street towards the Downs. You can guess the name of that cottage, can't you? Yep, Wisteria. Not much hangs around in this village, I bet. I've seen 3 boards, 2 have been sold. All got SSTC on them. Bit of a view over the Brooks just as I leave Amberley. Wonderful little place this is. Then on my right as I leave Amberley, you've got the ridge line there of the South Downs. And the sound of skylarks singing in the distance. So here you have the Sportsman, which is the recommended lunchtime stop. In fact, it's the only option at the moment, and as I commented last time, it doesn't seem to be as classy as the other place. Mainly because you're entering the cheaper part of the village, I guess. But there you go. As I say, that is the one option. The other is to go down to the Crown Inn. There's the opening times and when they serve food. So you just get in now. If you were keeping the same time as me, you'd have just got in here. Upon leaving Amberley, we now join the West Sussex Literary Trail. A path I've walked before. Unfortunately, we don't get the cracking views on my left that the houses have of the wild Amberley Brooks. They really are outstanding views, but I wasn't able to film them. You get some idea from this angle as I leave the footpath slightly. Wonderful. Wild Amberley Brooks. Last shot was taken from around 35 metres, just over 100 foot. Now, unlike a lot of farmers, this farmer has actually left a green, almost like a green carpet across his field. Brilliant. And as you can see, far from being muddy, it's actually quite parched down here at the moment. Looking back to whence I've just come, and the South Downs in the distance there, across wild Amberley. Delightful scenery this is. Sun's just beginning to poke its head through, so let's hope that comes out, because it's a bit hazy at the moment. Not getting crystal clear vision. Views of the downs on my right. As you can see, sun is now out. Views across the meadows from the cottage referred to in the text with a disused barn, which now appears to be used. A lovely view this cottage has got. Behind me here. Across the footbridge, turn right into more woodland, and the dandelions are casting their seeds at the moment everywhere. Apparently at this point there's a shortcut up the hill through the woodland here, but I'm going to take the advice of the text and follow the more interesting route up the gravel track. I do recall this now. Sandstone rocks to my left and Rackham Old School to my right. So I've been here before. Must have been one of the other Amberley walks. As I say, I certainly remember crossing that field without the green carpet back in the day. There you have it, 1872. Must be a similar age to the one in Hitchin School. And that yellow bog plant that I saw earlier is for sale here. At £3.50 and £5 a shot. A parting shot of the old school. So here we have an information panel, as recorded previously, about Parham Park. As you can see, there's information there about that deer, fallow, dark coated breed of fallow deer. Google this place for more information if you wish to know more. Entrance to Parham Park, from whence the deer escaped back in '89. Last remnants of this year's crop of bluebells. Definitely on their last legs now. There's an airfield near here, and hence the plane is giving the old glider a tug there. Get it up and going. Glorious afternoon it is now. Parham Manor House there through the trees, and the Elizabethan building, apparently. And what a fine vista it has. The downs over there on my right, its left. There's a fine spread of them, almost like pond daffodils. Another shot of the house, or a part of it, across the lake. Amazing pine tree that is. Don't ever recall seeing one like that. Probably I have, but I haven't really taken much notice of it. Have to check that out. Nice spread of rhododendron over there. Final shot of the old Elizabethan manor. Not sure that clock's right. Of those brown backed fallow deer. They've now assumed safety in numbers. Whole herds over there by the looks of it. Interesting cave over there to my right, just beyond the main driveway. Here's the information panel, which isn't easy to read. Heritage Trail 2000, Parham, Golden Pippins and a Victorian Adventurer. That's as close as I can get in on that side. You have to Google it, I'm afraid. Can't keep zooming in on these panels. Certainly lots goes on here. And I read on one of the information panels about the field cricket being introduced down here. I don't recall hearing any today, mind you, although this is their singing season apparently. Like I say, it all goes on here. Disabled clay shoot terriers and lurchers. So here we are, crossing Parham airfield, taking the more interesting of the two routes. And there is the tug plane and glider that I filmed earlier. Well, certainly the tug plane, or whatever they're called. Will be interesting in a minute to see if I can get a shot of this taking off. Depends which way the wind's blowing. I'll have a look at this windsock in a second. Coming from the east, as it was earlier today. Well, there she blows. Perfect timing. Well, well, well. One parting shot of the downs as we leave Parham airfield. And then a few minutes later the old plane returns. Rope still trailing. What an amazing house this is. Redford Cottage, just on the edge of Pulborough Brooks. Fantastic. Babbling brook, large pond, the rural idyll. Amazing. Got some woodland art here in the shape of a butterfly, this bench just next to the overflow car park. You can see Pulborough Brooks Nature Reserve. Just come out of the woodland for a second. Oh, students studying for their countryside and the environment BTEC. Would have been a very interesting subject to study at school, that. Didn't have that sort of thing, unfortunately, back in my day. It was either geography or environmental science if you were lucky. As I say, your whole life could have been different if these subjects had been around. Not that I'm resentful or anything. There's a bit of their work. Information panel here about Pulborough Brooks, and the important thing is the opening times, which seem to be a bit longer than indicated in the text. Closes at 5. And this is it. Fantastic. Notice the old solar panels. Yep, there we go. Get your suet balls in now. Some of the birds that can be seen here at the dining table. I noticed the bullfinch isn't amongst them.
Videos.
I got that wrong. The cafe shuts at 4:30.
Yeah. Can I ask?
So here we are, the view from the visitor centre. And as it says, what a view. Wonder if I can get in close enough to So off the access road, following this sign to church. Looking back across towards the downs from Wiggonholt Church. Lovely afternoon it is now. Wasn't a particularly warm welcome I received in the RSPB visitor centre. But there you go, takes all sorts I suppose. Information panel here about Wiggonholt Church, which is undedicated apparently. What an amazing place, eh? As I say, churches in this country never cease to amaze me. Information panel here telling us that we're walking along a Roman causeway across the marsh here. Attempts to remove New Zealand pygmy-weed from this pond, which is taking over our native species. Looking ahead across Pulborough Brooks to Pulborough. So here we are next to the River Arun, up on the embankment. Pulborough Brooks over there on my left, and now my right. Pulborough ahead of me there, the Arun, and what looks like Pulborough Church in the very distance there. Sound of skylarks now. A wonderful sight. Cattle, buttercups, delightful. A final shot across Pulborough Brooks as I enter the village. Isn't that wonderful? We have another lovely wisteria clad cottage. Great location. View back from the ramp opposite Alfred's Ward, or Alfrey's Wharf. So walking up this hill towards the church at Pulborough, you get a lovely view back across the brooks and onto the downs in the distance. Look at that, eh? Another one of those heritage trail information panels that we saw earlier. This one telling us about Pulborough, Puller's Hill and coaching inns. Mary's Church from another angle, with the sun full blast at me. As you can see, I'm running behind schedule today. I've got the sun behind me, I can get a better shot. 6 o'clock has just peeled. So it's around 6 o'clock, back at Pulborough Station. 6:05 actually, and this is the view from the station. It's rather pleasant, isn't it? Yes, as I was saying, that's another cracking walk. Free walk 14, all 13 mile of it. Absolutely delightful. Again, usual amount of Sussex variety in it. Canals, brooks, downland, meadows, the lot. And as the afternoon developed, so the sun came out and it got even better. But even without the sun, fantastic walking country around here. So that took me a bit longer than I anticipated, by about half an hour. As I say, no need to rush when the scenery is so outstanding. So, catch you next time.